and welcome. You're here with me, Chatty Tumbler, and I'm flying in my AVAB, and this is an answer to a question about how do you get AI aircraft to go and do an intercept mission. So the scenario is we've got two human AV-8Bs, and they're flying up to go bomb a target to do something over here. We've got some F-14s who currently, they're on a profile to fly to waypoint 1, and then they're going to orbit between 1 and 2 and guard me for ages. But what I want them to do is when I give them a radio signal, I want them to go and intercept these two MiGs that are coming in so that I can carry on with my mission. I don't want to wait to get those MiGs in close. So here's how it looks in cockpit, and then I'll show you afterwards. So we've got the 14s up here on their straight course. I'm going to bring up my comms menu, F10, and I'm going to give them this radio command, clear to intercept. Now that could say anything, and then I put a 5-second delay in it, so we should get like a click and a... there you go. The escort is now hunting, and those guys were flying in a straight line. They are turning and burning, and we can speed up time, and we can see they're definitely turning away and doing their thing. If we look on the F10 menu, sorry, on the F10 map, so they should have been going towards waypoint 1, they're now going to go to the MiGs. So what should happen is they will go towards the MiGs, there'll be a big fight, and then when they've finished, the F-14s will then head back towards waypoint 1 and carry on with their mission. So let's speed up time, probably about 15 times speed. So we're on 15 times speed up here. So these guys are heading off. No idea who's going to win. Generally the 14s win, but either way, they're all doing their thing. I can be carrying on doing my mission. Oh yeah, that MiG's still alive. There you go, they've got him. I can do my mission, in fact I'm unhappy. The 14s have done their thing. They're coming back towards their cap point, and they're going to carry on orbiting. So how do we do that? Let's have a look in the back end. We'll go into the mission editor. So the easy ones first, the Harriers, that's the two humans. They're just doing, that's just random waypoints, doesn't really matter. The MiGs, relatively easy again, they're on a combat air patrol mission, and when you look at their waypoints, it just says combat air patrol, and all they do is they're flying to waypoint 1. I would normally set a racetrack for them, and they'd wait and then come back again, but the clever stuff is in with the Tomcats. So it's pretty standard to start with, so they're going to go to waypoint 1, which is this one here. They're going to do a combat air patrol, and I've told them to orbit on a racetrack, which means they'll automatically go between 1 and 2 at 30,000 feet, 500 knots, and I've given them a stop condition of 1 hour and 15. So if nothing happens, if I don't use the radio command that I'm going to show you in a minute, these guys are going to fly to waypoint 1 and they'll patrol, and when these guys come close, they will automatically engage. So even if I forget the radio command, they will do something at some point. But what I've also set up is in this tab, let's just close this one down. Oops. If we go into this third tab called Triggered Actions, what I've told them to do is I've set an en route task called Search and Engage Unit, and I've told them to look for red air, and I've gone for red 1 and red 2. So that's two commands. Now what you could do instead of unit is you could say Search then Engage Group. That also works. I prefer to put them, if it's a small group like 2v2, I like to put it in individual because it kind of reinforces it. But you can just get away with put group, and then the group is red air, and that would do it. But what we'll do is we will just do unit, the group is red air, the unit is red 1. And you can do this if you wanted them to hunt down something very specific. You could pick one plane, maybe the VIP in a formation. You could do it that way. But that's all they're going to do. They're gonna kill their and come back again. The triggers. So we need to set up two kind of triggers. The first one is after 10 seconds, I want them to add to my comms F10 menu a radio beacon or transmission called cleared to intercept, and I've just given it a flag of 1 with a value of 1. So when I then open the comms menu F10 and hit clear to intercept, it turns on flag 1 with a value of 1. This is the second one. This is kind of listening out. What it does is 5 seconds here after flag 1 has been pushed, so after I've pushed that clear to intercept button, it does AI task push. So there are two AI task options, push and set. What push does is it's kind of like a side mission. So it will do the thing that I've told it to do. What it's going to do is it will push Tomcat 1 to search, or Tomcats rather, to search and engage red 1. And then I've got a second one that says search and engage red 2. Once they've done that search and engage, they then go back to their normal mission. So we saw that they killed the F-14s and then they went back to waypoint 1. If I use set, what it does is it overrides all of the other commands. So they would still go and engage red 1, but when he'd finished, instead of going back to waypoint 1, he would look for a friendly base and he would go and land because that's his mission done. So if you want him to do something and then go home, then use set. If you want them to do something and then go back to what they were doing, use push. And then the 2 extra bits at the end are just fancy stuff. It's just a radio click to the blue coalition and then the message that tells them that we're engaging. And that's it. That's all you need to do. Now you can make these very fancy and do some very clever stuff with it, but the basic question that I was asked was how do we get our AI aircraft to go and intercept some aircraft, and that's the way that I would do it. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to ask down below. I will always reply as soon as I can. And until then, stay safe and happy hunting.